For years, investors in currencies like the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong have been on a continuous journey, filled with a mix of excitement and frustration. The community has long anticipated a significant event, often referred to as a revaluation, that would dramatically alter the value of their holdings. This anticipation has fueled countless hours of online discussions, phone calls, and forum updates, with each new rumor creating a fresh wave of hope that tomorrow would finally be the day. This ongoing cycle of anticipation and letdown has become a defining characteristic for many who hold these currencies. We've all seen the stories, whispers of new rates being quietly tested at certain banks, or claims of contract holders receiving payouts at higher values. These glimmers of hope would momentarily lift spirits, only to fade as weeks and months passed without any confirmed public action. This pattern has seasoned long-time investors, but for newcomers, it can be a disorienting experience, pulling them into the same emotional loop of optimism followed by disappointment. But what if this isn't the whole story? What if the constant delays aren't just about a timeline, but also about a structured process designed to unfold in a very specific way? This brings us to a crucial shift in perspective that many insiders are now discussing. The core idea is that success in this space isn't just about waiting for the right moment, but about being in the right place when that moment arrives. A number of reports have surfaced pointing to the existence of a parallel selective redemption channel. This system is said to be designed to streamline the exchange process for a specific group of investors, operating quietly in the background alongside what the general public would expect from a standard, widespread event. This is what is being referred to as the fast-track system. To understand what this fast-track system might look like in practice, consider what it reportedly entails. For those who are part of this process, the journey begins with a pre-clearance phase. Their personal information and background are verified well in advance, even before they set foot in a bank. This front-loading of due diligence is said to significantly reduce the time needed during the actual appointment. Non-disclosure agreements, NDAs, which are standard for such large-scale transactions, are reportedly pre-staged and ready for a quick signature, eliminating another common point of delay. Once the pre-vetting is complete, these individuals are reportedly directed to designated priority counters. The staff at these counters are said to have received specialized training specifically for managing large foreign currency exchanges, particularly for the dinar and dong. Unlike a typical bank teller who might be unfamiliar with such transactions, these trained personnel are allegedly instructed to move with speed and efficiency. Their goal is to ensure a smooth, swift transfer from physical currency notes to digital funds, minimizing any potential friction or holdups that could occur in a traditional banking setting. Rumors have consistently pointed to a specific group, often called Tier 4B investors, as the primary beneficiaries of this streamlined process. Major financial institutions, including Wells Fargo, Chase, HSBC, and Bank of America, have been mentioned in these reports. However, and this is a critical detail, it's believed that only a select number of branches within these banks are part of this fast-track network. This exclusivity is a key element that explains the widely different outcomes some people report. One investor might complete their exchange within a few hours, while another, unaware of this hidden system, could spend days waiting for an appointment with no clear answers. This divide, insiders suggest, is the real reason why some people emerge from the process with their new wealth secured, while others remain stuck in a state of uncertainty. To grasp the full picture, we must look at the larger concept of a tiered rollout of currency redemptions. For years, the investor community has speculated about this tiered structure. At the top, Tier 1, are the global elites and major financial institutions with direct access to the highest levels of the financial system. Tier 2 reportedly includes national governments and large, sovereign entities exchanging for purposes like infrastructure projects or debt management. Following them is Tier 3, which is said to include humanitarian organizations, military-related settlements, and large trusts that have negotiated their positions over many years. This brings us to Tier 4, which represents private investors. Tier 4A is believed to be composed of early participants and structured investment groups, while Tier 4B includes the vast body of individual, everyday holders of the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong. The central challenge for the system is how to process millions of Tier 4B investors without causing widespread chaos and logistical gridlock. According to analysts who follow these financial transitions, this is precisely why a fast-track system was reportedly created. By quietly directing pre-qualified participants into these streamlined redemption centers, Banks can manage the sudden inflow of liquidity in a controlled manner. A sudden, uncontrolled surge of wealth into the public sphere could trigger unpredictable market reactions, including inflationary concerns, liquidity issues, and mass speculation. By carefully filtering and managing the flow of capital, the fast-track mechanism aims to maintain system stability and prevent panic. It's not about favoritism, but rather a strategic approach to preserving market integrity during a major financial event. This brings us to a critical point of realization. Preparation is everything. Many investors have dedicated years of patience and research, enduring a constant stream of rumors and false alarms. They've dealt with skepticism from friends and family, and have come too far to falter at the final hurdle due to a lack of readiness. Imagine showing up at a bank only to be told that appointments are fully booked for the foreseeable future, while an investor across town who had their documents in order and knew which branches were participating completes their exchange in hours. That stark difference isn't due to luck. It's the result of being prepared. The power of information is only realized when it's paired with deliberate action. Knowing about the fast-track system is one thing, but positioning yourself to benefit from it is another entirely. This is why seasoned investors consistently emphasize the importance of preparation. This includes ensuring your personal identification documents are current and in good order, verifying the authenticity of your currency notes, being aware of which bank branches are reportedly on the fast-track list, and maintaining a flexible schedule to accommodate a potential appointment. These seemingly small details can have a profound impact on the final outcome. Success in this endeavor isn't a matter of random chance like winning a lottery ticket. It is the result of a deliberate, well-executed plan. Those who thrive are the ones who act with foresight, who recognize the signs, and who position themselves strategically for the outcome they desire. The truth is simple: success favors the prepared. Preparation is the one thing that is completely within your control. For investors who have waited years for this moment, the difference between a successful exchange and walking away empty-handed often comes down to this level of readiness. The process for a smooth redemption is often described as a deliberate, multi-step plan. The first step involves getting all your personal identification documents in perfect order, from your driver's license and passport to proof of residency and any notarized records that verify the legitimacy of your funds. Without proper verification, banks will not move forward, and this could cause significant delays. The second step is about research, specifically identifying the bank locations that have been consistently mentioned in insider reports as participating branches. Remember, not every branch is on the list, so precision is key. The third step is making the initial contact. When calling a bank, it's advised to never use terms like revaluation or RV, as this can raise red flags. Instead, a more tactical approach is to simply inquire about foreign currency exchange services to discreetly determine if the branch is prepared for such transactions. Step 4 is being ready for your appointment, which includes being prepared to review and sign an NDA. This is a standard part of large-scale currency transactions and should not be a surprise. The fifth step is knowing your numbers, including what is being rumored about potential contract rates for the Iraqi Dinar and Vietnamese Dong, and what the current market rates are to help ground your expectations. Finally, the sixth step is tactical readiness, arriving early for your appointment. The fast-track redemption system is often compared to airport boarding, where those who are checked in first are processed first. Delays can push you back in the queue, potentially causing you to miss your window. This six-step guide is not just advice. It's a blueprint for protecting years of patience and preparation. It represents the deliberate process that separates those who walk into wealth from those who are left to wait in frustration. It underscores the idea that knowledge alone is not enough. It must be paired with decisive action. To provide a broader context, let's consider a few perspectives that reportedly shape this narrative. A financial analyst might explain that the lists of Tier 4 investors were not created suddenly. Banks, they might say, have been quietly pre-screening names and accounts for months, or even years, which is why some individuals seem to move through the process effortlessly. Their vetting was already completed long before the public was even aware of the system. An insider banker might add that certain branches are already quietly processing redemptions, with staff being rotated through specialized training and only designated managers authorized to approve appointments. This would explain why so many people get a different answer when they call different branches. An economist might offer a macro-level explanation, arguing that a fast-track system is not about favoritism but about system integrity. If millions of investors suddenly receive life-changing liquidity in the same week, it could destabilize local economies and cause unpredictable market reactions. By channeling redemptions through controlled centers, banks can create a release valve that manages the influx of wealth, preventing inflationary surges and ensuring stability. The fast track is a mechanism for controlled distribution, not exclusion. It is a safeguard against financial panic, a measured approach to a massive transition. A motivational coach might drive home the urgency of the moment. They would argue that you can't afford to hesitate. If you're not ready, someone else will be, and opportunities like this do not wait. The prepared investor seizes the moment while the procrastinator loses out. These combined perspectives reinforce a single truth. The fast-track system is not a myth, but a carefully designed mechanism to protect markets while simultaneously rewarding readiness. Investors who demonstrate foresight, discipline, and urgency are the ones who are positioned to succeed. While no responsible analyst can promise a fixed exchange rate, the ranges of potential values discussed in investor circles provide a helpful frame of reference. For instance, reports have suggested that the Iraqi dinar could eventually exchange anywhere from $3.91 to $6.73 per unit, depending on factors like negotiated contract rates, location, and the timing of the exchange. The Vietnamese Dong is often mentioned in a slightly lower but still significant range of $2.30 to $4.89. These are speculative figures, but they illustrate the potential scope of the change. To put this into practical perspective, consider a single 25,000 IQD note. At the lower end of the speculative range, a single note could be worth approximately $97,750, while at the higher end, it could be worth over $168,000. When you multiply this across a larger number of notes, the difference in outcomes becomes staggering. The core lesson here is that your final outcome may depend not just on whether a revaluation occurs, but on where you redeem and how well you are prepared. Insiders have suggested that those who find themselves in the fast-track lane are more likely to access the higher end of the scale, while those who wait in standard lines may have to settle for a lower rate. While many investors tend to focus on the Iraqi Dinar, it's important to remember that this potential revaluation is not an isolated event. Vietnam's Dong has been repeatedly linked in analyst reports, with the country's rising role in global trade and manufacturing making it a strong candidate for a significant currency adjustment. Beyond that, observers have also pointed to Zimbabwe's ZIM notes as a possible follow-up stage, though the details are less clear due to the country's unique history of hyperinflation and recent debt restructuring. What is clear is the monumental task faced by financial institutions, especially those in the U.S., which are positioned at the epicenter of what some are calling the largest wealth transfer in modern history. The challenge is immense: how to honor private redemptions on a massive scale without destabilizing economies or causing market panic. This is the very reason why the fast-track and tiered systems reportedly exist. They are not merely designed to favor certain individuals but to carefully manage the flow of capital and prevent the floodgates from opening all at once. If mismanaged, a sudden surge in wealth could create chaos. If managed well, it could quietly strengthen economies and empower investors. Ultimately, this is a moment where speculation must give way to preparation. The fast-track exchange list is no longer a distant whisper or a fleeting rumor. It has emerged as a structured reality that is quietly shaping the outcomes for those who hold these currencies. For those who have endured years of doubt, ridicule, and countless false alarms, this is your opportunity to demonstrate your discipline. The finish line is within sight, and what matters most is how you show up. You cannot let hesitation or a lack of preparation rob you of the reward for your patience. This is not a gamble. It is the culmination of a deliberate choice you made long ago. The prepared investor is the one who will walk away with their wealth secured, knowing that their actions were a direct bridge between possibility and reality. By staying informed, following a deliberate process, and acting with foresight, you position yourself for success. History always favors the informed, and the time to prepare is now. The choice to be ready for this moment is entirely yours to make. Remember, success favors the prepared. The time is now.